Today I'm going to be doing Snoqualmie Mountain with an optional side quest to Guye Peak. Snoqualmie is going to be about 3,000 feet of climbing, and then if I add in Guye Peak, that'll be an extra 1,000 feet of climbing. And both of the trails are pretty steep. They're kind of like mailbox peaks, so probably only 4 or 5 miles round trip. It's going to be hella hot today, so I'm hoping to beat the heat by starting super early. And I'm going to try to get off the mountain as quickly as possible before it gets super hot. This trail wastes no time in going straight up this thing. All right, off to a pretty brutal start. I think I'm gonna go ahead with the side quest to Guye Peak. Supposedly, Snoqualmie is that way and Guye Peak is that way, but I don't really see any signs of trail in either direction, so I'm just gonna have to ascend it and see what happens. There's Guye Peak right there. So here's the trail right here. That right there is a 2,000 foot drop straight down to Alpental. That's crazy. Top of Guye Peak. I'll tell you what, it is a terrifying drop off of the summit in pretty much every direction except for the way I came up. All right, so now I'm gonna run down and then hit Snoqualmie Mountain, which you can actually see behind me right there. I wish I could just like jump across and then hit the peak, but I gotta walk down back there and then come all the way back up. Made it back to the junction. Now it's time for the second grind of the day. Super windy up here. Top of Snoqualmie, 6,000 and something. That was a whole grind right there. This peak has some killer views. I can see Rainier, Adams, Baker, Glacier, Olympic. I can see Guye Peak way down there. top of Alpental. Oh, I can see Red Mountain, the peak that eluded me last week. I'm gonna get that one next time. There's a pretty good breeze up here and it's cooling me off real nice, but it's getting hotter by the second. So I'm gonna get off this thing before I turn into a rotisserie chicken. The heat has officially reached blistering levels. It's about 84 at the trailhead. The summit of Snoqualmie was really cool. The views up there were just about good enough to melt your brain. I think they might have been a little too good because I ended up spending about an hour up there just soaking everything in. As a result, it took me almost 5 hours round trip, and I was on the mountain way later than I wanted to. The second half of the descent was brutal with that heat. It started making me sick, so I had to slow down a bunch. But I survived, and I didn't yak, so I'll take that as a win. All right, Snoqualmie Mountain Guye Peak combo. Absolutely brutal, but totally worth it. Now it's time to go jump in a river.